Welcome back to Showboys Gaming and our official guide for Sifu. I am Chad, and I will be taking you through this entire game. We are going to set up a 100% walkthrough here, including all the trophies and everything. So sit back and relax and watch me either get punished or punish this game. So we're going to start a new game here on the slot. We're just going to play on Disciple, which is the original difficulty for the game. As we move into the intro here, we are going to be thrown into a prologue of sorts 8 years ago. And this is going to be your main way of learning the game. Like every game that you play, there's always an intro with tutorials, and so you get the controls down, right? So triangle here for heavy attack. And then this guy is going to be your parry deflect timer, but we'll go over that a little bit more when we get into the game.
What's going on? Who are you?
So through the game, you're going to get these optional dialogue options. So there are specific ones that we'll need to pick later on, but we will call those out when we get there. The most important thing that you get down with this game is the dodging mechanic, in my opinion. I'm gonna show you how I like playing this game for the walkthrough, and I feel like it's a pretty surefire way to complete the game, because it makes the combat, which can really be as complicated or in-depth as you want it to be, makes it a little bit easier to handle. And that's simply just holding L1 during our encounters and dodging down on the left analog stick. I feel like this is the best way. There is a lower dodge as well for sweep attacks, but I gotta be honest with you, I rarely, unless I really see it coming, dodge those. You can hold L1 and effectively block those. So as long as you're holding L1 through the entirety of the fight, really, that's how I play. It makes it very easy to dodge those higher attacks. And then there is a parry system as well, but the timing on the parry system, I don't know, it feels kind of finicky for me, so I don't really use it as often as I probably should. I did do a playthrough where I really leaned into the upgrades for the parry system, but
I thought you said they'd put up a fight. I'm barely breaking a sweat.
Don't be so arrogant.
I really enjoy this intro of the game because it's very cool. It's you know, this game is a basic revenge tale, right? But you're rarely playing the person that is causing the need for the revenge tale. So I just think it's such a cool way to open the game. We are playing as the main villain here, the main guy that we're going to be going after, and we're seeing all the other bosses. So that there was Sean. And we'll see all the other ones here as we move through this opening area. Again, in the opening area, there are no items to pick up or anything, so you don't need to worry about that.
Who the hell is that? Get him now!
So just like the punches, you can dodge the bottles. And it's cool too because you can kind of see how your character's going to feel once you get them fully leveled up, because Yang here has got full upgrades. Anytime that triangle and circle comes up, you can do an instant takedown. There is a risk to the instant takedown, which we'll explain here once we get into the first level, because it will not happen here. Or at least I've never had it happen in the intro. So we're just going to work our way through this area, get to the final guy here so we can move on and get to the main game proper.
Where is he?
This is going to be Fahar, I don't know how you say it. And then these are the other two bosses here.
Yang. Of course.
You've gotten slow. Sifu. You know why I'm here, don't you? Just step aside.
You were a mistake. I should never have taught you. Now you know too much. By returning here tonight, you've given me a second chance. This time, I will do what I must.
So we will be thrown into our first official boss fight, if you will, with Sifu here. Every enemy in the game has punish states that open up when you dodge their final attack. So that's what we're trying to go through. You'll see I did not dodge that final attack there, and he did not give me the opportunity, backed up right away. So the goal really, they're going to be enemies that you will need to just, I mean, the way that I fight them, I just dodge the final attack, which is really the one you need to dodge to get the punish state on them. So something to keep in mind. We'll be explaining strategies as we go through the levels here.
When I look into your eyes, I see nothing but a frightened, angry child.
So the focus bar here, we will also explain when we get into the game. We're just going to take this time here to finish this boss fight up, and then we will more deeply explain the mechanics. You don't necessarily need to know them for this fight here. It's not that difficult. We're going to be seeing much harder fights. And you really cannot die. You'll notice that I don't even have a health bar, so you can't die at this section. You'll see the punish state opened up there. He didn't back up right away. And that was from perfect dodging his final attack there. Gives you a chance to follow up his attack.
Show yourself.
So right here you can select if you want to play as a male or female character. We're going to go with the male character. I have seen mods on PC where you can actually play as the young kid in this cutscene, which is kind of funny.
Father.
Now we get a super cool intro here as we have grown into an adult ready to seek our revenge, and we're going to go through the different bosses that we're going to encounter here in this opening area. And this is another tutorial that you will need to get the timing down on each of these to move forward. So you see how I didn't do the second part there and it's not allowing me to go forward. So just follow what it's saying on the screen. You can really get the parry system down here if you're into that. I am not necessarily into it, so, and you'll see that as we continue the playthrough here. And I do not parry very often, so that takes down Fajar. We will move on to Sean, who is many people's first big wall in the game, but I'm going to show you a pretty easy way to take him down. You'll see kind of a little bit of the strategy here. He's obviously much faster in the actual title, or in the actual boss fight. Takes care of Sean. Next will be Kuroki, I think is how you say her name. I'm not entirely sure how you say her name. The artist. And this one's the palm strike, which again, I don't use very often. I'm not a big, if you're really into fighting games, you might have an easier time pulling off some of these combos. But I don't play fighting games that often, so I'm not as well versed in the certain combos in this game. So there's a couple that I really lean on for a majority of the game. This is going to be the CEO. Do a leg sweep on her, and then we can hold circle to get on her and punch her. We'll be using that a lot through our fight. And then our final guy here, the leader, Yang. And it's funny because they actually do have the same fighting. It's just much slower. So. Now we are officially in the proper game here, so we're going to explain a couple things through our dojo here. The first thing is these doors over here will open up as we progress in the game, leading to other areas. This tree right here you're going to be able to use to upgrade your skill tree. Now the skill tree in this game is somewhat unique. It's the same as if you've played any kind of roguelike game or roguelite, then you'll notice this. So if we die, any of these upgrades that we have not permanently upgraded go away. And the way that you permanently upgrade these is by purchasing them 5 times. 6 essentially, because you have to buy the first one to unlock it and then an additional 5 times. I know that sounds like a lot. You're going to be doing a great deal of grinding in this game if you really want to. If you're going for the platinum trophy, you're going to have to, because you're going to need to unlock all of these permanently. So a couple of the ones that I always go for first in every single one of my playthroughs are the strong focus sweep. This is absolutely crucial to the way that I play. It'll be the first thing that we unlock here in the walkthrough. Moving forward, I find that this happens quite often with the way that I play, because I use mostly heavy attacks. So just naturally it happens. So I picked that up pretty early. Charged back fist we're going to certainly want to pick up before we move into the museum for a kind of, I don't want to call it a cheese strategy, because it's not. It's a you know, a mechanic in the game, but we'll see that when we get to the 3rd level, the museum. Other ones, environmental mastery is absolutely crucial for me as well, so that's going to be very early. This allows you to kick any near items at enemies. Flowing Claw, another one that sometimes happens naturally as I play. But you just look through these and see, you know, what looks interesting to you. The good thing is you can test them out in a playthrough. If you don't like them, then you don't need to permanently unlock them. So Raining Strikes is going to be very crucial for the final boss fight of the game, the strategy I'm going to show you there. And then I really enjoy Slide Kick. It's just a good way to get enemies down. So that is the tree that you can upgrade your skills at. There is another area to upgrade your skills, but we'll see that later on in the game. Over here is the practice thing, but I believe we need to pick up this item here first. So this is going to be our first detective board item, Fajar, the botanist. He's the one who cut my throat that night. He's first on my list. He works for a gang as a botanist and never leaves the warehouse. So this is something that's going to become very important through our playthrough for our 100% walkthrough. We are going to get every single one of these items in this walkthrough. Down here, if you would like explanations on some of these other items, the death counters, that stuff, I'll explain all that when we get there. The basic setup of the game is each time that you die, your death counter increases 1, and then when you rise using the coins, you age that amount of time. So if you die the first time, you're going to go up to 1 death counter, and when you rise, you're going to be 21. You start the game at 20. And it continues. So if you die again, you'll go up 2, which means you'll go up to 23, and etc. You need to beat the game before you're 70 years old. If you die of old age, you need to restart all over again. So we'll explain all that stuff. For now, this is a cutscene over here if you want to watch kind of that intro cutscene again. Over here, if you're getting to this game now, you now have outfits unlocked. So unfortunately, I don't think that you can, unless you bought the deluxe edition, which you get this suit. I don't have the deluxe edition. These ones you get from killing Yang and sparing Yang. So we're going to put the white one on. And then over here, this is also another very helpful tool that allows you to practice your skills that you unlock, practice your timing for the defense. If you want to get a skill down, you can come in here and practice it. You can set these guys to passive or aggressive. You can also change what enemy type is in here, including all the bosses. So this is very, very, very handy for getting the bosses down. It is a little odd that only Fajar, Shan, and Yang are unlocked for me. I'm not entirely sure why. It might be because you need to beat them in the actual game to unlock them. But it allows you to set up their phase 1, their phase 2. Each boss has 2 phases, so this is a very handy tool that I did not have when I started this game. So if you're struggling, this is the place you want to come, practice up, and get ready for what's lying ahead. So I think for now we're going to move into the squats, and we'll explain some of my tactics for going through the level, and let's get started. I do have some notes here, so if you see me pausing for any time, probably checking the notes. I did do a stream of the preparation for this walkthrough, so if you want to watch that, go over to Showboys Gaming, our YouTube channel. Probably where you're finding me right now. So these optional things, we're going to want to hit all of those when they pop up, just to be safe on the detective board items. And again, when I fight, I literally hold L1 the entire time, and that allows me to just pull down on the left stick to dodge attacks. And it just makes it much easier. Now, you cannot move when you're holding L1, so if you're the kind of person that likes to, you know, be on the move constantly, that strategy is probably not going to work for you. I just find it the easiest to kind of get through the levels and some of the boss fights. So we are going to come over here and we're going to check this door. We're going to grab this item here. skull letter. Locked until we fucking say so. I found this note stuck on a door blocking my way into the warehouse. So that is detective board item number 1. And then we also want to check the door, which will give us another detective board item for the locked door here. If I can get it open, this will be a useful shortcut. Again, I'm not going to recommend that you take any of the shortcuts except for a couple that we will take in a specific level. But typically when you take a shortcut, you're missing out on a shrine, which is kind of detrimental to upgrading your character. So if you're struggling here, there are bottles and a pipe over here as well. So we'll pick that up and head up the stairs and smack this guy. Now this instant takedown here, the triangle and circle, when I first started this game, I thought that you needed to do that in order to get the health on takedown, which means every time you kill an enemy, you get a little bit of health back. You do not need to do that takedown. Just killing the enemy gets you that, that health back. The risk that you run by doing that instant takedown is that you have a risk, RNG style, of the enemy becoming empowered, refilling his health bar, and becoming far more aggressive. So it's something that you need to kind of be mindful of as you're moving through the levels. It's always nice to get that out of the way before you get into a big room. So once we get environmental mastery down, we'll show you how to easily run through this level. But for now, we're just going to take him down nice and easy with the pipe. And then here you're going to see these in a couple of the levels.
Just need to run at it.
They're just areas that you need to run at to jump through.
Came to the wrong place, Pat.
So we're going to get a couple enemies out here. Just watch out because these two guys do have bottles that they will throw at you. Anytime you see an enemy parry you like that guy just did to me, it is time for you to go on the defensive. We're going to come over to the kitchen here and grab another detective board item right here in this purple pile. The drug produced here, it appeared a few years after the death of my father, and its use has increased dramatically throughout the city. Okay, there's a bottle right here. We're going to pick that up and head through the door.
Open up. Okay, let's do
Once we get that focus unlock, the strong sweep attack, we will be able to easily take weapons out of enemies' hands. So that's why we're going to be focused on that from the get-go. It becomes useful through the entire thing. It's useful on the bosses. It's useful in a great deal of areas. As far as I know, the empowered enemies do not happen in these side-scrolling, these kind of side-scrolling hallway scenes. As far as I know, it's never happened to me, so I've played this game a great deal, and it has yet to happen to me. So we're gonna go through here and head up the stairs, around the corner, through this door here. And then we're gonna run into the first room here and hit this guy that's sitting on the couch. There is another enemy over here, and he will be right on your butt as soon as you're done, typically. Looks like he's being a little lazy today. There is a broom over here that you can use as a bow staff if you'd like. But we are, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of using weapons per se. And you'll notice there, there is kind of a stealth mechanic in this game where if you hit an enemy before they know you're there, you can get an instant takedown on them. We'll be using that much more in a later portion of this level. All right, let me just check my notes here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so we're gonna move out here for a big fight with a couple guys. And you also notice that I primarily attack with triangle the most, just because I find it very useful in knocking enemies down. Here's our empowered guy. You'll see that he refreshed his health, and now he has become far more aggressive.
Be careful. He's got a weapon.
Uh-oh. But this is what I mean by making use of being smart about your upgrades there, because you don't want to pick up one of those guys when you're already in a pretty big fight. So this is good anyway because we're going to see the way the death counter works. So you see that the death counter went up by 1, and we will now go up to the age of 21. Every decade, you get less health but more attack power. Each time you take down like a mini boss or like that empowered guy there, you see it lowered my death counter, so now it's back down to 0.
The warehouse. I'm getting closer.
So we are going to move over to our very first shrine here. Now, each of these shrines, there's typically, I think there's 3 of them in every level. It allows you to take one of these upgrades, and it also allows you to come in here and purchase some of the skills that we were talking about back at the tree at the dojo. So we're going to pick up the strong sweep focus first, and I'm gonna highly recommend that you just focus on unlocking something permanently before moving on to something else. Because if you use all your XP to unlock a bunch of different skills, if you happen to die, you know, get to the age of 70, which is very, very possible your first time playing this game, you're gonna lose all this stuff. So you need to be mindful of that. Between runs, these do not transfer unless you get that permanent unlock on them. As far as the shrine upgrades here, I'm very, very blunt about what I like, and that is focus regain and increasing my focus reserve. You can play around with these if you're struggling. You can see what works for you. Death counter, reset your death counter to 0. I've never done that ever in my life, but if you're really like close to beating a boss and you're close to age, you might want to use that. Weapon proficiency is very useful. It improves damage and impact on opponent structure. We'll be using a lot of weapons throughout the playthrough, so that's always handy. Focus meter, again, it's the cheapest one, so I try to save this for the first shrine of each level, just because sometimes you're not always going to have 2,000 to pick up, you know, some of these more expensive things. And then these over here, these are age-based, so you'll see 25, 40, and 60. You need to pick these up before you reach that age. But I don't find these really that interesting. Increased weapon durability is nice, but not worth going for me. Health on takedowns, if you're really struggling, this could be a very helpful tool for you. And then increase maximum structure. Maximum structure and structure regain I never pick up because I never feel like I'm running out of structure in this game. And we'll explain structure as we move on here. It's the bar that you see that's yellow on enemies and us. And it effectively works as Sekiro's posture system, if you've played that game. But you'll see at the bottom there, each time I get attacked, that bar goes up. If that breaks, you're kind of left open for attack. But like I said, the way that I play by holding L1 and dodging, I don't feel like that is ever an issue for me personally. If you're struggling, you can look through those upgrades and see So we're going to jump down here and beat up this fat guy.
I'll have to throw you back through it.
So this is going to be kind of a tutorial on how to avoid these grabs, L1 and down.
Not too bad.
And he likes using them, so... But if you're quick enough, you can really keep him on his butt. And once we get environmental mastery, we can kick these bags of money at him, so he becomes even easier. We're going to come over here and grab another detective board item, which is the pile of money here. Drug money, dirty money, no doubt blood money too. Okay, now we're going to head through this door here and drop down the elevator shaft. And we're going to go smack the guy in here washing his hands. And there's another example of the stealth mechanic. He didn't know we were there and we hit him, so we got an instant takedown. I don't remember ever seeing any of those enemies that you do the instant takedown on like that from stealth turn into the empowered enemies. So it may be a mechanic, but I've never run into it. For here, we're going to run over and hit this lady counting the money here to start this fight. There are a lot of guys in here. There are weapons all through it, so if you're really struggling in this area, you can go pick up those weapons. We're going to try to not take down, instant take down any of these guys till the room's a little clearer, because we don't want to fight like we did up there where we died. We don't want to fight an empowered enemy with a lot of other enemies. So if it turns out that you clear the room before you do the takedown, that's fine. It might come back to bite you in the butt here in the next room, but that's part of the game. So we're gonna come over here and grab yet another detective board item. And I'm not sure, they used to pop up on the screen so you could just select them. I'm not sure why they're not popping up. The Burning, 10 p.m., the club. It's where I hope to face Sean. I overheard one of the thugs talking about betting on something going down there tonight. So, moving on, we're gonna run over here and grab the pipe by the door and head into here. Go over to this door here, and we see that it's locked. So in your first playthrough of this level, you're going to need to go into this room to get the keys to progress. There are two kind of mini boss enemies in here, but I'm going to recommend that you, every time you come here, you go into here, because there's also a shrine in here too, and we don't want to miss that. So we're going to come over here and strong sweep this guy. Oops, didn't mean to throw that. These guys can power up on you, but it's very, very, very rare that that happens. So once you take that down, we can go into the shrine again. And once again, since we have 3,900, I'm going to recommend that you do the focus regain. But like I said, focus on, whatever you think is going to be useful for you. If you enjoy parrying more, you get the parry timing down, you might want to go with the impact on structure. But for now, we're going to select this and move forward. And we also got the keys, which is another detective board item here. And this will allow us to get through that gate here, as well as the shortcut early on in the level that we mentioned. Just checking over my notes here. Okay, this next area, I'm going to show you the exact path that I highly recommend that you take. We're going to be able to take out a great deal of these enemies in stealth. So just wait a little bit till this lady turns the corner, and then run up and hit her. And then do the triangle circle takedown on her. Come around here and hit this guy. Literally just hitting square to punch him, and then triangle circle instantly. We will come down here and smack this lady. And then we will run back up the stairs here. Over these boxes and down onto this guy. And then we can get one more guy here on the corner if we're quick enough. Try to focus on the enemies with the weapons in their hands. That way we don't have to worry about them. Again, controlling the path of the fight here will make it a little bit easier on you. Reason I didn't do the takedown there is it's been a little while since we've done one, so he would have certainly powered up on us, so no reason to risk it. We're going to come over here and grab this item here. Purple flower, the flower used to create purple mist. Okay, through the door we go here, and then we're going to want to be quick going into this room here, so get ready. We're going to run straight ahead and hit the fat guy. Don't worry about talking to him, just run up and hit him, and you can get an instant takedown on him, making this room almost a joke. And you'll see that with using triangle to attack, we're able to knock enemies down on the third one almost every time. So that's really why, for the most part, I gotta be honest, I rarely hit square unless I need a quick attack for whatever reason. I mostly always use the triangle attack when I'm fighting in this game. So we're gonna come around the corner and hit our final shrine here. And again, I'm going to recommend that you take focus regain. That's what I'm going to take, so if you're trying to keep along with me here on the walkthrough, that's what you should do. And they also patched the game back in the day when this game first came out. In order to change these shrine upgrades, you had to run the level again and get to the next level at a younger age. Now the problem with that is if you beat this level at 20, you are unable to go back and change your upgrades because you can't get to the next level at a younger age. They have now changed that, so every single time that you run a level, you change the upgrades to the next level. So it doesn't require age, so it's much easier now to go back and change them if you don't like them. So we're going to grab this right here, which is the key card. Passkey for room at the sanctuary, and we will get there much later in the game. And come over here and check this locked door as well for another detective board item, I believe. Looks like someone's private room. Okay, and we are at the end of this level. Working up this hallway here is the boss. Let me check through my notes here. Okay, so for Fajar, it's going to be the same strategy as we've been using so far, holding L1, dodging down, and using triangle to attack exclusively. This boss fight is not particularly difficult, but just be mindful that he does have some quick attacks, so be quick on the dodge and you'll be just fine. Really dig this new white suit. It's got a Storm Shadow look to it. So he's going to come right at you, hold L1, dodge this as soon as he's close, and we're going to triangle attack him the whole time. And we're going to be using our focus sweep as much as we can now that we've upgraded that 3 times. Successful avoiding it will build it up pretty quickly. And you'll see that he kind of goes into slow motion there if you dodge that final attack. That was the punish state that I was talking earlier. If you miss that, you won't have that opening. So whatever the final attack is, you want to make sure for certain that you hit that. That way we get the ability to attack our own. He does have sweep attacks that he uses. There it is. If you just block it, it's much easier to deal with. Once you get into phase 2, we're going to use the exact same strategy. Just going to change up the level here. We'll get a refresh on our health as well, which is always handy. So he's going to be hiding in here, so just hold L1, wait for him to come. He's always going to come out of the one that's closest to where you're at. You'll see there, we did not get the punish state. And he does like using the sweep attack a little bit more in this phase, so just be mindful of that. If he's coming in for the sweep, you can either dodge up or just block it. If you get knocked down, R2 to quickly roll back up. Once he does this, he's going to come out of the closest bunch of trees. Not a particularly difficult boss fight, but some people will struggle with it as they're learning the game here. Our next level will be much more difficult. But we'll show you a nice, easy strategy that works Sean over. Very similar strategy that we're using here. That's just 2 sweeps and a kick. That final kick is what we need to get the punish state, and that will take care of Fajar. Okay, and that puts us back at the dojo here, so we can go over to the tree and upgrade some more of our skills here. So I'm going to permanently unlock strong focus sweep. And then we're going to go for environmental mastery next, I believe. Let's see here. Yeah, let's do that. So, that'll take us to the club, but I'm going to recommend that you run the squats a couple times just to get some XP and unlock some skills. We're going to do it one more time here just so I can show off a couple of my strategies. Like I said, the permanent stuff there is going to go away. So the weapon mastery we're not going to have unlocked, but we will have the focus sweep since we permanently unlocked that. So we're going to try to kind of speed run this a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more difficult with without that mastery, but that's fine.
Get lost.
You'll see also if enemies are in the middle of a attack animation, they will not be interrupted. So again, if you want to use the shortcut, you can go through here. There is a shrine at the end of it, but you're going to be missing out on one shrine, so I'm not going to recommend that you do it. But we are going to pick up a bottle.
here.
And we can pick up this bottle here since we don't have weapon mastery. That will allow us to get the takedown there. Normally, if you have weapon mastery, you can just hit R1 as you're coming through these stairs and effectively get the same instant takedown on them. This guy always gets terrified anytime he sees you coming up the stairs, which is always entertaining. And again, we're going to jump on down. It's just literally the same level over again, but you are playing a roguelite, so you should get used to replaying the same levels. It's also good for, you know, getting the mechanics of the game down. Into the hallway we go. Sometimes if the lady on the right here does not grab the bat, you can get a stealth takedown on this guy. And then you can sweep her bat out of her hand. That's why, you know, the usefulness of that focus sweep, it's unmatched to anything else in the game, I think. That's why I focus so much on the focus upgrades. Especially once you're able to unlock more focus bars and you can do multiple of those attacks in succession. It's just, for me personally, it's the perfect combo of skills. So same thing as before, we're going to come over here and hit this guy on the couch. Fortunately, can't be quick enough to get a stealth takedown on him, or at least I never have been. So we'll see. This guy, however, over here, you can be, so we're going to run up and smack him as soon as we get in the room. They did patch the game. This lady used to not come through the window, so you could get her with a stealth takedown too. However, they have patched it, so that is not possible anymore. And then over here, I usually come this way for the weapon mastery thing there, but we don't have that unlocked yet, so we are going to be coming back to this level later on in the walkthrough to pick up some, the final item there that we missed, which was the door.
Stop him, for fuck's sake!
Okay, that'll take down this area. We're going to work our way to our first shrine again. And then go in here and see if we can unlock, I think weapon mastery is 1500. Did I pass it? No. Environmental mastery is 1000. So we're going to unlock that. And then as we see, we don't have enough points to upgrade our focus regain, and we just used our XP to do that. So we're going to be running this level probably a couple times off camera here, just because you don't really need to see me running the level over and over. So I'm just going to pick a random thing for now. But I am going to recommend that you run this level a couple times just to get some XP and upgrade some of those permanent skills. And you'll see how weapon mastery works down here as we jump onto the bags. We're going to see this big guy again. We're going to wait for him to do this. And then you can actually knock him down with all these bags of money here. And just keep him on his butt pretty much the whole time. You can block some of them if he's really aware that it's coming, but it's a rare occurrence. I have yet to see the bigger guys and the mini bosses in this game get into a power-up state, so feel free to use the triangle and circle to take those guys down without running the risk of them regaining their health. Again, same thing. We can also wait, if you're struggling with this room, you can also wait till this guy at the end of the room here, till he gets at that table, smack him, And then there is a pipe right here that we can pick up.
No way, no fucking way.
We will certainly get a power up in this room, so be mindful of that as you're working your way through. It's probably safe to do it once you have, you know, 1 or 2 guys left in the room. I'm not entirely sure if it's true, but it does seem like the female characters are a little bit less likely to get into that enraged state. Again, grab the pipe, work our way into this optional room for the shrine. Sweep this guy. I would not recommend throwing any weapons at these guys because they can catch them. So just keep it in your hand. And then we will hit focus regain again. Like I said, this run's going to be a wash, so skills don't really matter that much. We're going to come back in here and do it again anyway. So, same as before, wait. Smack her and do the takedown. Same exact path that we took last time. It's absolutely no different. And I think it's really a credit to Slow Clap because even though you are largely rerunning the same exact levels over and over, there's no sort of procedural generation in this game. The combat is so exquisite that it allows you to not get bored with the game. It's just a fun game to play, even if you're doing the same thing over and over. See that I am purposely not doing those takedowns, because you can really go through the whole level without getting one of those enraged enemies. They do drop more XP, so if that's something you're after, it might be worth doing. Same as before, hit the fat guy before he starts talking. And just like that, we are at the end of the level again. So like I said, it's not that long to rerun these levels. It's definitely worth doing it to get to the upgrades, the XP, that stuff. So you also get a great deal for taking down Fajar as well. So it's very easy to really farm up XP in this level. First playthrough of this game, I literally ran this level like 50 times probably, but that I was trying to permanently unlock everything before even moving forward. I'm not going to do that here because I know what I like, what I don't like, and it's really kind of pointless because you're going to be able to unlock stuff later, so it wasn't really the best strategy ever. So again, using our focus as much as possible and attacking with triangle exclusively, or Y if you're on Xbox. Oh, I don't even think this game is on Xbox. PC, rather. Whatever your heavy attack button is, that's what I'm using here. So you'll see there, he hit me with both those attacks, but I dodged the final one and I took no damage. So if you're really struggling, you just need to avoid that final attack, and that opens up the punish state that allows you to get damage in of your own. So you can effectively block 99% of the attacks in this game and then just dodge that final one. But you kind of need to know the game and know what attack is the final one that you need to dodge, so it's still going to take you some time to get used to. So again, he's going to come out of the closest one, which is right here. You'll see that you just can keep him on his butt the whole time if you're using that triangle attack, you know? Same exact strategy. Oops, thought my focus was up. Okay, he's gonna come out of here. Just wait till he's about to hit you and dodge down there. It's pretty easy to avoid, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna get some enemies later on that are a lot more difficult. And that will be our second run of the squats. Alright, we are going to go over here and see what we can upgrade. We're going to go try to do environmental mastery to max, which we're not going to be able to. The good thing is that when you do the permanent upgrades, those transfer over. So you'll see here I'm going to be able to upgrade it 2 or 3 times. Next time, if we run the squats, we only need to unlock the 1,000 to unlock environmental mastery and then 2 more of the permanent unlocks to get it. So that is good. It's definitely worth probably going to the club just so you keep, you don't have to keep wasting XP over and over. But that will do it for part 1 of our Sifu walkthrough. We will be back with part 2 in the club probably pretty quick. So subscribe to us here on Showboys Gaming. Check out our other channel, Showboys Podcast. We record every Thursday. Like, comment all our videos. If you have any questions for Sifu, any problems you're having, comment down in the video, and I will try to help you as much as I can. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you on part 2.